Hi guys, good evening and hope you're having a great day. So, as an entrepreneur, this is an advice. Please always cross check your numbers. As an interior designer, because that's why I am so, I think I should just focus my advice on interior because the example I'm going to give is actually also of that aspect. I'm not going to be talking about other fields. As an interior designer, always cross check your numbers. I just noticed that I made a mistake. And how I noticed was because I was redoing or cross checking and seeing how I could reduce the costs on our quotation so that our clients can carry the weight of it. Now, um, you know that ceiling and floor are practically the same area square. That's what it is. And they gave me the total square meter. My people gave me the total square meter, and I forgot to exclude the toilets from the square meter for the flooring because we're not doing that same flooring for the toilets. We're just doing it for the other spaces, excluding the flooring. That's my mistake for not going back and checking my numbers. I always do it. I don't even know why I did not go back and do one space at a time because I always do that. So let me say 5.9 by 5.5 is what was written for the square meter, and they have written equal to so and so. I always go back and make sure that that equals to is actually correct. Then I do the total square meter by myself. But I didn't do that this time. I was under so much pressure from a lot that I just used the numbers that was given to me and I totaled it and did. I had gone to the market, done my findings, and I just did um, the total. I didn't go down and do my findings from the beginning. I didn't break down my work. I always have like papers before me, so or booklets. So when we write, I always do that, but I didn't do that this time, which was my mistake. And I realized that that mistake was over 100 square meter, so it would save my clients a good amount of money because obviously when that goes out it means my service charge is reducing, so it takes out money from there, it takes out money from every other category that will be charging for. So it's a very good save. It's a very good save. That's it. Now, what made me share this story? I met with an old classmate yesterday that I had not seen for years. And in the course of our discussion, I told him what I do. I was like, oh, okay, when I have these are my clients, when they need, I'll let them know that I have somebody that does interior design and all of that. Perfect. But then again, he brought a story to me of a particular project he was working on. He does transformers, so he fixes transformers for businesses, for houses, and all of that. So he was telling me that there was somewhere they were fixing, and they got to the interior people. What they said they are going to do is not what they are doing. It's like the total opposite. Invariably they are making profits, but they are not even giving the quality for the building that is existing there. So he's saying that the building, when you see it, you see the interiors and everything. That's, I'm talking of the carcass of it now, without it being decorated. That it tells you the taste of the person, so you know the money that that person would have brought out for these things they are doing, but they are doing opposite of what they claim to do. Now, there are so many projects that I have redone in Port Harcourt. I don't take pictures, I don't take videos because it's not really my job because I just came to redo. And that's because many people collect money and they don't give the quality that they claim they are supposed to give. They just come and do haphazard work. There are some Lagos jobs that I've got to correct in Port Harcourt here. You know, Lagos, they have different standards. They have the names that you know, the brand names that you know very well. And most of the Port Harcourt people will not agree to pay those people in Port Harcourt, except it's a very big politician or one oil magnate or what have you. But the regular Nigerian or regular Rivers person will not agree to pay that amount to another Port Harcourt interior designer or to even bring the person from Lagos, those top-notch people, to come and do the job for them, except the money they like water. They'll do that. So I've got to correct a lot of those jobs. Why? Because they bring these people from Lagos. They don't know artisans here. They literally will ask questions and get people. They will not be able to follow up on the job or supervise the jobs as they should, because obviously this is not their place of residence. And if you look at the money they are getting at par with that, it's not commensurating. So it gets complicated for them. And you cannot really hold them accountable because they are not here. They are in Lagos. You can't just walk up and go to their office. You can't call them and you cannot meet them up anywhere because they're in Lagos. So I've got to do lots of jobs like that here in Port Harcourt, correcting people's errors. It has now become like a field on its own, correcting people's errors, other interior people's errors. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because um, basically I think those people is about the money. It's not necessarily about the service that they are giving. This mistake I made, honestly, anybody that knows me will know that I would definitely let my clients know, because I would have still done that breakdowns when I want to go and buy stuff, so that it's well planned. This one is going into this, that one is going into that. So it's well planned and structured, so that we don't go and put money where we were not supposed to put money in, based on what we've received and the different phases of the job or the project. So I would have still done that. And if I noticed it, I would have let my clients know that, see, I made an error here. I'm sorry, but this is the extra money that we have. But some persons, I know, I can beat my chest and tell you that they will pocket that money like, hey, God don't do it for me. See the time mistake where I make, we don't give me extra cash. Extra how many million? And they will be excited. But personally, I think that that's stealing. That's stealing. It's a different ball game if you put up a little markup based on your work. Yes, you put on a little markup to shield you in case inflation happens, because you can go and you can. This is the timeline. You find this out, you prepare your quotation, you submit your quotation before money gets to you, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 1 month, sometimes maybe 2 months. So usually we'll have a clause that tells you that the quotation is not valid after a period of time. So let's say the highest is 30 days, highest now 2 weeks, but highest 30 days. So let's say it's 30 days, and that markup you put is to cover up for inflation, just in case the prices changes within that period of time that they've given you money, or they not give you money to purchase it in, and maybe they've added a little money on it. That's different, because at the end of the day, some other things might eat out of that money. So based on that difference, it's okay. That can now be profit for you people at the end, not even at the end of the project. So if that project is going to be 5 months, 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, it's at the end though. It's at the end that will now become your profit. But for those ones that know that, this one, we made a mistake, it is a mistake. We mistakenly added, it was not even intentional, it was a mistake. And you refuse to let your clients know that you made this mistake. You take it as, they did not notice. Total square meter, what concerns them, will not do the calculation. So you now take that money as your own and say it's profit. That is stealing. I'm telling you, yes, it is stealing. That's stealing. I don't know how Nigeria can get better when we ourselves, as far as individuals, we don't make this little adjustment. We don't take it as a big deal. We take it as, hey, now profit I make, now nothing, I'm into business. It's stealing. It's better you let them know than they not tell you, oh, for telling me take this amount, which you should not really be expecting. As an interior designer, one of the first things that make people contact you for what you do is that you save them money. So that error, that trial and error phase, somehow it takes them out of it. Even if you yourself, you know that as if you were not perfect. Because for instance, artisans you're using, it's trial and error sometimes. For some scenarios, it's trial and error. But you just know you're there to actually save them money. They are paying you money to save them money. So for instance, they're paying you money to save them money. That's basically it. Yeah, they are paying you money for your expertise, they are paying you money for your skills, but they are paying you money to also save them money. So if the person would have made a mistake within this space, let me say the living room, if it was the person doing it his or herself, it would, they're literally going to do guesswork. Probably the chair they will buy will not fit in, or they have design tiles, they have design ceiling, They don't know what's going to fit into it. So you're there to actually give them your expertise. Instead of them doing it twice, or they buy chair, when they buy chair, they now bring it to the house. The thing will not pass through the door. It will not pass through here. It will not pass through the staircase. And they don't have any balcony that you can pass it through. You save them all those stress, all those little stress. So that, but one of the main reasons why they call you is to save them money. Actually, save them money and time. So you might not be saving them money as per money, but you're saving them time, and you know time is money. So that's one of the reasons why you're there. So if you find out this type of big mistake, this type of huge mistake, and you see it as profit, that is stealing. In Nigeria, one of the reasons why we are where we are at now is because of greed. You know, lots of people are very greedy. I know many people have told me that, see, you're in business. If they do not notice it, then it's your own. Sophia, it's not me and you. God forbid. I don't want God to start asking me questions when I get to heaven later in future, as per that. But you did this, and every other person is doing it. So why can't I do it? No, I'm not. There's a different ball game with you quote for something, then you go and see it cheaper. That one I can say, okay, maybe it is gain. It's profit for you. You got a better deal. No problem, because they had already approved of the budget. For me personally, for some for me personally, I usually would call them and say, I was able to get it at a better deal. Oh. That's how I work with my clients. I know I might need to adjust that, because at the end of the day, when we finish the project, we are running at a loss, because lots of things come up that make us spend a lot of money, and at the end of the day, we are not getting as much as we're supposed to get at the end of the project. But that's not why I'm saying this. As individuals, we need to do better. As interior designers, if you're an interior designer or an interior decorator, it's not profit. For scenarios like this, it's actually stealing. So it's better for you to come up clean. You actually made a mistake. So you come up and tell them that, see, I made an error, and this is what you have. That money must not even be given to the client. It can be channeled into other things, because they had already approved of it. It can be channeled into other things. But it feels so good and so comforting that you can sleep well at night, or I can sleep well at night when I know I've told them that, oh, see, oh, this was over. It's not gain, it's cheating. Just imagine that they do it to you, because I think sometimes we don't think about if these scenarios happen to us personally from a different perspective. Just imagine that you had quoted for something, or you went to buy. I'm talking too much. Just imagine that you went to a shop to get something, and you find something that you really liked for a client. You asked them the price. For instance, they said 45,000. You tried to bargain to get it at 40 or 42. They said, no, ma, oh, it's 45,000 naira. Oh. That's what our Oga told us, is 45,000. And after you've tried all your negotiation skills, you were not able to get any discount, probably 44,500. That's what you got it for. And you were maybe supposed to buy, um, you were supposed to buy 20. You're supposed to buy 20 of that particular item. Then when you come back another time, probably you were looking for some other thing, and you had to come back to that particular place, and you see the owner of the shop, and you just say, sir, how much is this one now? And the Ghana tells you it's 15,000. How would you feel? How would you feel? As per 15,000 as against 44,500 I gave it. 15,000 as against, I'm trying to do the maths. 14 minus 5, that's 9. That's 3 minus 1. That's a whooping 29,500 times 20. Imagine how much you would have lost. Not just you, your clients too. Because imagine now your client now goes somewhere else, because that has happened to me before, and your client sees it at 15,000 or 20,000. Sometimes, let me say the client even at 25,000, and you quoted it at 46,000 based on markup, or you said 45,000. That's the 500 naira that you took out. you included it just in case there's an increase, or you go back there and they tell you, oh no man, now it's 45,000 naira last. If you bought it that time, it would have been 44,500. That window is closed. How would you feel? And that's not your money or per se, like it's your client's money. So imagine same when you do same to your clients. That's stealing. You feel bad. If your client should notice that that's what you did, they will feel bad. There's room for profit. There's room for I was lucky with this one. I quoted this. I went to different places. I got at this price. But at the end of the day, I was able to get a huge discount or a sizable discount. That's a different ball game. That's a different ball game. It can now become profit at the end of the project, not at that particular time, because there are other things that will take money from you or from the business while at that project. Because this profit that we make is not necessarily for our personal eating or what have you. It's for those little things that will spring up in the course of the project. That's what it's for. So imagine it. Well, this whole talk I'm talking about, everything I'm saying now is literally to help you understand that, you know, we need to work with empathy. We need to try to put ourselves in our client's shoes. When we make mistakes, own up your mistakes. It's not a big deal. Anybody can make mistakes. Yes. In short, immediately I noticed it, I sent a WhatsApp message to the person that referred me and said, see, I made this mistake. I'm going to correct it. I'm really sorry, but I know that we're going to have a huge difference from the quotation. It's not about let the money be big so that my charges will be big. No, we are charging based on the work we are doing. That's what it is. So, as an interior person, my advice is that you come out clean. Integrity is a very good currency, it's a very huge currency when it comes to our business. People are putting their monies that you self you cannot really have. People put that into your care because they trust us to a certain extent. There are some jobs some people don't get because of um trust. They are not sure. Their monies I've handled that I'm like, hey, God, I beg you. But somehow, people find me trustworthy and they give me that, and I do their job for them. And guess what? When I come out, it's not like I even have better change or what have you. But that integrity that has been indicted in their heart, I cannot give it away for anything. We should try to do better. We should do our business with empathy. As much as we want to make profit, we should make profits the right way, not the wrong way. So, for instance, if we make an error like this, don't go and say, hey, they did not notice, I've made money, I've made profit. Let me shut down. Let me go and buy lands. Let me go and buy this. That's how they will treat you too. Yes, I said it. So let's do better. Let's try to work with empathy. Let's know one of the reasons why, or the reasons why we are contacted or given the contracts to handle these projects. We're putting the people first. We're looking at the well-being of our clients, not just we want to make money. It should be the well-being of our clients. And that value that we're giving to them is what gives us money back. They might not even refer you for some years based on probably there was really nobody that wanted to do this, but you see that mark you've given them in their hearts as per you were able to do this, it goes a very long way in the future. You never know where or what room that they will have an opportunity to say your name. It shouldn't be with they are not sure. People should be able to say your name for good things, not for bad things. I worked with somebody at the time of my interior design, when I started my interior design business, before I even started my business fully, I worked with someone, and the person gave me, it means like for blinds, for instance, when you want to measure, the width is 1.5, he'll tell you to write 2.5. The height, um, the height is 1.2, they'll tell you to write 2.2. So when they give that quotation, they submit it, the money is higher, right? The money is higher. The same thing too when we have to measure for wallpapers or all of that. The money is higher, the total square footage is higher. So you're making profit. So when the money is now come, you just calculate the original measurements. So you have put markup on top of the price, and the you've still increased the the square footage or the measurement because you want to make more profit. That is stealing. You know, When it was mentioned to me that that was how they used to do stuff, I think me I cannot. Oh. It's better I give you a higher price at the square meter and give you the original square meter. What if tomorrow now the person now comes, carries measuring tape, probably the person wants to do something around that window again. Maybe the person wants to create a frame for that window, and the person now does the measurements and goes back to what you submitted. Ah, but this is not what it is now. The person will realize that after trusting you with their money, with their space and everything, you cheated them. That's a terrible way, because most times for scenarios like that, they're not even going to talk to you. They'll just take it that, oh, you don't cheat, but that will be the end. And that should not be it. A very bad lifestyle. And I've noticed that with lots of persons. That's how most interior persons make money. You're the one that had them carry blow. No, no, no. Padding. You're padding a lot of things. You pad the square meter, you pad the price again and add. No, no, it's not fair. Please, let's do our job with empathy. Literally, that's what I want to talk about, because it's spirals round every other thing that we're doing in Nigeria. If we have lots of empathy, we're not greedy, we're not self-centered. It's not about what we will gain only. I think we'll have a better nation. But in Nigeria, it's basically um me, myself, and I. How will it be good for me? How will it be good for me? You see this opportunity, me. You want this one, me. You enter government house, you want to take everything literally to yourself, your family. You want to create generational wealth from stealing instead of serving. We're here to serve. We're here to add value, and that value we are adding, they are paying us for it. The money might not seem much right now, but over time, as time goes on, as you continue to build your momentum with what you're doing in integrity, you find out that there's a time that you give your prizes and people will not even argue. They will pay, because they know over time you actually deserve that. I'm waiting for that moment when I will actually start making money from my business very well. And I know it's very close by. But I will choose integrity over. I did not make extra profits. I made a mistake and I will correct the mistake as should be. So this is just advice for you all. It's time for me to close for today. My system is already off. So I thought to just let you guys know that those things that you see, those offshoots that you see, or you make an error, it's if you make that mistake, please correct it. Say it out. If you know that, oh, you have seen something somewhere that you've gotten something for like times two, you've gotten it lesser by like half the price, you can find a way to save the client's money for some other things, especially if they've not brought money for everything, to make your job faster. It's not profits, Biko. Yeah. Thank you very much. Well, that one has a clause, though, because you are business people. So if you want to, me, that's my personal way. I can tell my clients that say I was able to get that at a lesser price. That's a personal something. It's not a rule. But you see the other one where I made a mistake, and I realized it was a mistake. If I now claim that, oh, they did not notice it, I am stealing, and stealing is not good. Thank you for coming to my pep talk. I am Ala Pepu, your space therapist, and it's so nice to talk to you. I just wanted to rant and vent at the same time as regards this, because it's getting too much, and it's too much in this our nation. Probably that's the only way I can help us right now. Have a beautiful evening, have a beautiful day, and bye.